Hello and welcome to the Heroic Denathrius Phase 1 spreadsheet explanation. I'm going to be talking about the three mechanics, Burden of Sin, Cleansing Pain, and Blood Price, that have been causing us a lot of grief so far in Phase 1. And I'm going to talk about an alternative setup that we can use to get through Phase 1, hopefully a lot cleaner. So what we've been doing thus far is we've been splitting into two groups. And at the beginning of the first period, everyone gets 5 stacks of Burden of Sin. Group 1 takes the first Cleansing Pain. We deal with the adds, and then we get Blood Price. Now, Blood Price, of course, does damage to you based on how many other players have the same number of stacks of Burden of Sin. Fucking horrible mechanic, but whatever. So here at the first Blood Price, we've got 12 people with 4 stacks and 12 people with 5 stacks. This means that everyone with 4 stacks is going to take approximately 12 times 1800 damage, so about 21k damage, and everyone with 5 stacks is going to take 12 times 1800 damage, so about 21k damage. This was taken from the raid logs, not the dungeon journal, but there's also mitigation involved. Some people will take less. After the first Blood Price, Group 2 takes their Cleansing Pain. Then we get Ravage. We move to the second period. First group takes Cleansing Pain. And again, we have the same issue. 12 people, 4 stacks, and 12 people with 3 stacks. The people with 4 stacks take 21k. The people with 3 stacks take 21k. Rinse and repeat. End of the second period. Beginning of the third period after Ravage. Same problem, 12 and 12 of 3 stack and 2 stack. 21k damage per group. And then we have the last Cleansing Pain where everyone gets hopefully down to 2 stacks. We move in for March of the Penitent and the phase completes. We're losing too many people during these Blood Prices. We're using too many cooldowns and we're using a ton of mana. So, what I read on, I think it was Complexity Gaming's website, was a spreadsheet where they talked about staggering the number of stacks by having 4 groups. So let's see how that works. So again, beginning of the first period, what we're going to do, we're split the groups into 4. Groups 1 and 4 will take the first Cleansing Pain. Now, this still results in 12 people having 5 stacks and 12 people having 4 stacks. That can't be avoided. We're going to have to blow some cooldowns here. It's not a big deal. But what happens after the first Blood Price, groups 1 and 2 take the next Cleansing Pain. We move to the second period after Ravage. And then again, groups 1 and 2 take the next Cleansing Pain. Now watch what happens. 6 people with 2 stacks, 6 people with 3 stacks, 6 people with 5 stacks, and 6 people with 4 stacks. Look at the damage that they take. They've taken half the damage that they did before. 10k damage. That's it. All right. Blood Price number 2 is done. We get another Cleansing Pain. We put groups 3 and 4 in because we do have to worry about their stacks. Ravage happens. Get Cleansing Pain number 5. Groups 1 and 2 step in. That brings their numbers down to 1 and 2 stacks. Get a Blood Price. Again, you have 4 groups. 6 people with 4 stacks, 6 people with 3 stacks, 6 people with 2 stacks, and 6 people with 1 stacks. 1 stacks? Whatever. And then we have one last Cleansing Pain. We need to get group 3 and group 4 down. So they drop another stack. And then we have March of the Penitent, where we've got 6 people with 1 stack. We got 12 people with 2 stacks and 6 people with 3 stacks. This isn't going to be an issue because what we're thinking of doing is loading up group 1 with people like priests and paladins who can use Leap of Faith and Blessing of Freedom. And group 3 will consist of people like Death Knights, who have an innate ability that it reduces the minimum speed they can be brought to or whatever. Shaman can go Ghost Wolf before March of the Penitent happens. I think Night Fae players can go with Soul Shape before March of the Penitent happens. And even still, any priests in Group 1 that make it to the center, they can help anyone in Group 3. Other websites refer to this as the cheese group. But I think this method is going to be a lot easier on the healers. It's going to be a lot easier on any of the DPS who are popping cooldowns, etc. And I think this is going to help clean up phase 1. It's a little more complicated, especially in the first period. You know, a little bit more communication, but the second period is actually, in the third period, is pretty much what we've been doing already. We just have to modify it a little bit for the first period.